So thank you, Matthew. That's clearly a critically important topic about how we can use AI and data in the energy transition. It's great that you can join us live now, and just encourage people, we've got a few minutes so we can do Q&A. So do add some questions into the chat, and we can see if we can get through as many of them as possible. Just to kick off though, Matthew, thank you for joining us. One of the topics which I'm really excited about is how AI can enable new businesses. And that pyramid slide you had just then, you talked about pushing AI through your business, and how that was enabling new businesses at the top. Can you just unpack that a bit for us? What's E.ON doing in that space where you're seeing AI enabling new business areas in E.ON?
Yeah, so well, first of all, thanks very much to the AI Summit for the invite. It's great to be here, and also we agree that the energy transition and sustainability is one of the most critical topics that we're all working on. In answer to the question, the pyramid reflects our overall transformation that we're taking around digital data and AI and how we apply that to our organization and our business. At the top of the pyramid, I think this is probably one of the coolest and most exciting areas for us as a business. I mean, E.ON has come from being, I would say, quite a heavy industry-based company, a big engineering. I mean, we've built nuclear power stations, we've built offshore wind farms. But what we see in the opportunity that we have ahead of us is how we can build on the assets that we deploy to our customers and apply new business models on top of those, which deliver us different kinds of revenue streams. So the type of thing that we would be looking at is how we can manage customers' assets, how we can help customers save energy using the application of our algorithms of AI. We can do things like anomaly detection. We can do things that help customers overall in the management of their business. And these then become new products that we're offering to our customers. Different from the past, we're offering software products that then the customer then consumes. And for us, then it gives us an opportunity to create new revenue streams for us as a business. And we have many touch points with our customers, right from the very large scale assets that we apply for our business customers, but also for our customers in the home. And as we roll out smart meters to customers as well, that also opens up the opportunity to be able to deliver new types of services to our customers. Most recently in Germany, we've just applied algorithms and AI for customers to be able to see how their home is actually performing in terms of energy consumption, and actually to give the customer an indication, perhaps if again we're seeing anomalous information coming back that might indicate that one of their appliances is faulty, or that it's helpful to replace it because it's consuming more energy than you might anticipate.
Fantastic, that's great examples, and I always love to hear case studies of the way AI is enabling those new businesses. We've got a couple of questions coming through here, which I think are related to the topic which you probably hear relatively often of as we're pushing into sustainable practices and we're managing the energy transition. Is there an economic benefit as well as a societal and planet benefit? So are you seeing an ROI on the sustainability solutions you're deploying? You know, how do you measure the success of those initiatives?
Yeah, I mean, of course, these are new businesses for us, and we're providing solutions to our customers. So of course, those are revenue opportunities for us, whether it's through the electrification of transportation. So as we see more customers adopting e-mobility, there's an opportunity there to actually deliver revenue streams from that. But of course, we also see the opportunity to create new solutions for our customers where they can actually start to produce the energy themselves, and where we can then actually support them in terms of how they're using that energy, and perhaps even at the right times being able to deliver that energy back into the network, into the grid, when we've got higher energy demand and maybe the customer isn't using it. I mean, there's some very interesting use cases coming up, especially around e-mobility or electric cars, where you have a vehicle that is in fact an energy storage device sitting on the network. You could then actually, if you've got the ability to steer those assets to be able to support the network and provide energy back into the grid, as we call it, vehicle to grid. And that's actually also a very interesting place where of course, you need to have some really smart algorithms to be able to work with a customer to figure out that you're not discharging their vehicle at a time when they want to drive somewhere. That for me will be probably one of the toughest use cases that we'll be looking at in the future, as we see these kind of new business models coming about that we want to bring, or that are helpful overall for society, and bringing us through this energy transition.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I really understand what you're saying around the issue around integrating what AI will do with people's lives. You know, the ability for machines and these systems to understand the context and so make the right decisions, I guess is pretty critical to the success of those kind of applications.
Definitely. I think in particular with AI, we see a lot of mistakes that are made in terms of the actual training of the AI, and in particular, we've seen that mainly with some of the facial recognition softwares that have been used, where they've been mistrained, or where it's been used in education as well. Actually, most recently in the UK, we have some quite interesting examples of how algorithms have been applied and how they've been trained, and whether or not then they're discriminating against certain parts of society. So the training of the algorithms is incredibly important, and of course things like securing customers' data also is something that is very, very important.
Fantastic. No, and actually, that's a great segue, actually, because one of the things I wanted to get your opinions on was the topic which Warren East from Rolls-Royce raised at the opening of the event this morning. So they're talking about a framework for ethics and trust in the deployment of AI, particularly for safety critical applications. And clearly, E.ON, you know, safety must be at the core of everything you're doing as well. So really interested in your thoughts on the ability or the challenges of deploying AI in that context.
Yeah, well, there's 2 points there. One is around the ethics of AI. And in fact, one of my colleagues spoke. I mean, he works with Oxford University. We had a partnership with Oxford University where we've already, I think about a year and a half, or even maybe 2 years ago, we were developing AI guidelines for data scientists in the application of algorithms to specific use cases. So that's something where we've been working very closely with Oxford University, and it's been really cool. In relation to the other side of things, which again for us is really, really fascinating, because of course we're a critical infrastructure, and we also have many of our employees working on that. So we take safety very seriously, and we want to be able to apply AI into the environment where our assets are, where our employees are, because it's actually a dangerous environment, to ensure that they're operating in the safest possible way. In relation to how we then connect this critical infrastructure to AI, this is something where I think there's some more tricky issues involved, in particular around cybersecurity, because it is critical infrastructure. If someone gets into the infrastructure through the internet, or through a break in your security, then they have the ability to be able to steer that infrastructure. And as we've seen in the Ukraine, this has caused, or has caused, with malicious activities, blackouts in society, and that absolutely is something that we want to avoid. So we will apply our algorithms into the environment to ensure that our employees are safe, but we also need to make sure that we as a business and a critical infrastructure are maintaining the safety of our network and our services to customers.
Fantastic. No, absolutely. It just goes to show, I think, the importance of this area as we're starting to push AI into scale and into these kind of critical applications, just how challenging it is. But that seems to be the issues we're grappling with now. Matthew, thank you very much. That's been brilliant to hear from you and hear about what E.ON is doing with AI and data. Thank you.
Great stuff.